What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com coming to you for Friday, the 15th of November. Hope everyone's had a good week thus far, getting ready for a big weekend, and what I wholeheartedly believe is going to be our biggest and best weekend of the football season thus far, because we still have some action left to go. Football season is quietly winding down. Couple more weeks in the regular season after this Saturday, and then we will get into conference championships the week after Thanksgiving, as well as then getting into bowl games, playoffs, and then after the first of the year, we will crown the national champion for the 2019-2020 season. So let's get into it. Yesterday was a good day in some aspects, and then some days, in other aspects, it was extremely frustrating, just because you knew you were on the right side of something, and because of time, you know what, it happened. So it's not like I'm going to even say that I'm mad, because if you're going to lose something, or you're going to have a day where you don't necessarily, win, I would prefer it to happen like this, as far as money-wise, because it's very easy to come back from. It's something that can, you can come back from the very next day and make it as if it didn't even happen. And that's when you go out there and you lose to the point where you've dropped, a unit based on, the system that I run. Stop. Sorry. My dog, I just got done at the gym and she's freaking out. So, let's go over yesterday. We had another sweep in college basketball, so that puts us 9-0 in the last 9 college basketball plays in the last 2 days. So basketball, as I told you guys, it's usually my number 2 sport. It took us about a week to get into true rhythm, and we're here, and we're here to stay. So now I'll crunch the numbers tonight on the spreadsheet, figure out our percentages, but we'll be into the 70% and there to stay for a long time here very, very soon. So if you are not on the college basketball season and you would like to be, I have discounted that season down to $399 for the season that will run until tomorrow. So we have that, and I'm also giving away something here. Here's a giveaway. Let me cover up the Jordan logo. There is North Carolina Tar Heels home helmet, authentic, actual helmet that I'm going to give away. And how you can enter to get that giveaway is anyone who purchases any sort of long-term package, over the next 24 to 48 hours. And what I mean by long-term, smallest one will be a month, so a regular month or a top play month, any type of season. So if you want the basketball season, hockey season, whatever you want, any type of season, or any type of year all-access pass, you will be immediately entered to win. Now, I want to do this contest pretty quick because I want to announce the winner this week, and I have 2 of those. One that were given to me, and one is actually autographed that's in my collection. That one is not autographed, but it is authentic. Still, the helmet is still, the equipment is still worth just as much. It is an actual, helmet that the university owned. So it's not something that you would go buy in a store. You could play in this thing if you wanted to. So that is up for grabs. I figured that'd be a cool giveaway to do. So all you have to do is, if you buy one of those packages, you're immediately entered. And if you win, I'll be sending you an email to let you know that you're entered. And then you'll be able to listen out for your name to see if it's called this weekend. So that, if you want to get in on this weekend's action, something shorter term, do a week package for $99. That includes every premium and daily top play in every sport for 7 days. Same rules apply to the 3-day pass. It is just $50 for 3 days. And then we do have an NFL Our Game of the Year this Sunday. It is $100, comes with a 7-day guarantee. So win the game, or if it were to lose, God forbid, there's no reason to send me an email and flip out and wonder what's next, because you're going to get 7 days of all plays absolutely free of charge, which is a $99 package anyway. So very little risk, and I will make sure that one way or the other, you're going to profit off of this purchase of $99. So make sure you get involved in that, but we don't have to worry about it losing. Only ever lost one game of the year. I don't plan on making it two. So yesterday, speaking of the Tar Heels, I took them plus the points, and I'd take that play a million times over. If anybody actually watched the game, I think you would agree we were on the right side of that game. What killed us was overtime, because once you get into overtime, obviously, if you do not get the ball first and kind of set that precedent of what has to go on, you don't get multiple chances like you could within the NFL, because there's no clock. So North Carolina was +4. They were down by as much as 14, came back, tied the game up. Pittsburgh comes back, scores. North Carolina does the exact same thing, forces overtime, and Pitt goes out there and scores a touchdown. North Carolina got a very, very shoddy call there in overtime, which should have forced another. I'm not saying they would have scored, but it would have given them another first down and more chances. And then on the very last play, people say that, the quarterback underthrew it. He doesn't. I got to hand it to Pitt's defense right there. Now, there was a massive hold that didn't get called, but not on the gentleman that actually deflected the ball. And he got to it and barely just got his paw across that ball as of the forward movement. So it was still a good pass. That just turned it into a well underthrown pass. So at that point, the game was over. Had it not been for overtime, that's why, even being a Tar Heels fan and hoping that they win as a fan, when they were going for that final field goal to tie the game up, I was hoping they missed it, because that would have made them lose by 3. We would have covered by a point, and I would have been more than happy with that. So, but you win some, you lose some. Those are ones that you cannot control. And it wasn't because we weren't on the right side. It's just in overtime, you're very limited in what you can do. And, of course, we don't handicap for overtime. We do not handicap for overtime. You can't. It's impossible. So sometimes you lose because of situations that you really don't even account for, because it's impossible to account for them and actually truly have a system that would give you an educated decision on that. Sorry, this thing's really bothering me. But then we move into our only other football play of the day. That was the free play. It was also a premium play on the card, and that was with the Cleveland Browns. And they were -3.5 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. We bought it down to 2.5, or excuse me, they were -3. We bought it down to 2.5, and they didn't need it. I told you if they would utilize Odell Beckham and they would make smart decisions, and Baker wouldn't stay in the pocket the entire time, even though that's where he needs to be right now with that team. That's not the system they have in place. I told you they'd win by more than a touchdown. They did exactly that. Obviously, I did see what happened at the end of the game. Everybody's, talking about Cleveland doing this, Cleveland doing that. I'm sorry, but Pittsburgh's QB insinuated that. I'm not saying he deserved to be slapped in the head with a helmet. I'm not saying that, because he didn't. But he deserved to have his helmet ripped off, because he tried to do that exact same thing. Whether he feels like he was roughed up on the down or not, you're the quarterback, you're the leader of that team. You set an example. You were down, the game was over. Don't start anything, whether you're frustrated or not. So it's just as much his fault there. He deserves a suspension just as much. I'm sorry, you may disagree with me. You're wrong, because if you actually watch it, he went underneath that helmet from the back, tried to rip it off, and he just got overpowered, and what he tried to do actually happened to him. Now, Pittsburgh's offensive line that went out there and decided to throw punches after the helmet was used to strike him in the head, I agree with that. I would have done the same thing. You protect your quarterback whether he's in the right and the wrong. That was uncalled for. So I think that suspensions, are inevitably, going to be dealt out. I think that on the Cleveland side, there needs to be a very hefty suspension. On the Pittsburgh side, I think I don't think it just needs to be one game. This would have never happened had he not insinuated something, So I think I'm not going to say he deserves quite the suspension, because he didn't strike somebody and use it as a weapon, and I mean, very well could have easily seriously hurt or killed somebody like that. So, it wouldn't surprise me if he was gone for the rest of the year. But if that be the case, then I think Pittsburgh's quarterback needs to face, whatever Cleveland's suspension is. I think Pittsburgh's QB needs to get half that. So if it's, the rest of the season, then I think Pittsburgh QB needs to sit out that. Either way, they utilized Odell Beckham there early, ran for 40 yards. They said he was down by contact, so that didn't give him the credit to the touchdown, but either way, we know what happened there. Odell Beckham, hats off to him. Baker got to get himself out of the pocket to make some throws, which allowed him to connect, keep picking up first downs, which was the kryptonite for Pittsburgh all night. It wasn't the lack of coverage. It was the fact that they couldn't pressure Baker enough and keep him in that little pocket that would minimize how he was going to be able to throw and to what side. So fairly easy win by the Cleveland Browns, and that's what we expected. So a nice win there. Congratulations to all the free play people. Congratulations to all of my clients that got to play it as a premium play. So then we move into the NBA. Dallas Mavericks go down to the New York Knicks. I think anybody saw that one coming. So it is what it is. We took over in the Suns-Hawks game. Easiest call on the board. Nice win there. Denver and Brooklyn was going every way we needed it to until the fourth, and the scoring inevitably just stopped. The defense ramped up. So, again, I'm not capping for one quarter, guys. I'm capping for 4. So, you take it with a grain of salt there. The Vancouver Canucks went down early. Had they not given up that trash first goal, it was just a lack of paying attention there. They came back, played great through the rest, but then got screwed on an empty netter, but that was going to be their only shot of coming back and tying it up. So I understand it, but that's a risk you take when you go empty net. So we dropped that, but it's okay. We're still sitting over 70% for NHL. Still sitting at 90% for NHL top plays. We're actually sitting right at 90% with the top play loss. And then we get into college basketball, which, again, we had another sweep day. It's 9-0 in the last 2 days alone. And our 3 plays for Thursday, some people agreed with them, some people didn't. I have one person in my live chat yesterday give out North Texas as a play and said, talking about how bad Southern Miss was. I didn't want to come out and outright say it was on my card already, but I kind of made hints as to why I didn't like it and stuff. We had Southern Miss +5. I was a winner. Mississippi State -15. And Arizona State -27. So all easy winners there for a sweep. But if you actually played, hold on one second. If you actually play the system that I put in place, which I preach about day in and day out, whether, some days it's going to lose, you probably would have dropped, a little over a unit yesterday, which is okay because we'll get it right back today. There is a huge slate of college basketball today, which is what I'm working on now. I've got my college football done. I've got my NBA all but done. Only have 2 more games to do. And then NHL, I'm still waiting on skate-around reports, which is also what I'm waiting on in college basketball, some morning practice reports. So after we get the rest of those, we'll finish that up. Make sure you jump on a weekend package. You will see that you can go ahead and purchase the NFL Game of the Year if you like. I have to work on the write-up, which I will do this afternoon. Once it is done, it will be posted. You will get an email. So if you buy it now and you click on it and you don't see it and it says, play coming soon, there's no need to email me. That's not a typo. You will get an email the second I get it posted because a write-up comes with it as to why I'm taking this game, and that just takes time. I'm going to worry about getting today's plays out because we got plenty of time on the Game of the Year. But it's $100, comes with a 7-day guarantee. So free play for today. Some people may not agree with it, and don't get me wrong, I think Texas A&M's a decent team. I just don't think they're quite there yet. They got a little ways to go to have the talent level that they have within that team gel the way that they need to. And they're going to get there. They're going to get there one way or the other. But Gonzaga is going to have the rebound advantage. They're going to have the advantage size-wise within the paint. And they are so dominant within the paint, they just don't make mistakes. And because of that, I think that they will capitalize, and that's what's going to keep them ahead in this game, even though they're on the road. They're not a stranger to big games. They're not a stranger to good opponents, and they step up for them. Gonzaga is one of the top teams that just don't make mistakes. That is what's going to allow them to go on the road and be consistently up by 2 to 4 points. Now, we're going to have to lay 6 points on this one, but it's okay because in the end, that rebounding advantage, those second chances are also going to draw fouls. They're a fantastic foul shooting team. They're 59% shooting overall. That's what's going to allow them to pull away towards double digits. And even if Texas A&M goes on a late run, I think that Gonzaga will have sustained enough of a lead to hold them off and cover the 6-point spread. So that's your free play for today. If you got any other questions, send me an email, chase@chasewins.com, and I will have plays out soon, and we will get on another big day. All right, see you guys.